So Bitcoin is holding support here, okay? And that would have a lot of people thinking, well, last time we got support, we went up here. That time we got support, we went up here. This time we get support, surely we're coming back up to the top of resistance again. Right? This is what a lot of people are thinking, although it does look possible, it does seem logical. What you don't realize is there's a massive volume divergence. And so actually, as we continue to get support, you can see clearly less and less buyers are actually coming in to buy at support. And that leads me to believe that with this decrease in buyers that we see, we're actually not going to run to the top of the range, which is around 51, 52K, like so many people think. And so that is how we actually realize there's another pattern developing here. And it's not the pattern that takes us up to 52K. What's actually more likely, by actually reading in between the lines, right, which is what these divergences are, we can actually notice something else, something that makes you think, well, damn, we may actually unwind down to 30K, maybe this week, maybe next week. Now, I'm just trying to lay out some scenarios for you so you can see them, because this is the popular scenario a lot of people think is going to happen, is we're going to go back up to 52K. This is the bottom. I'm telling you, I don't think that's the actual scenario that's going to play out. I don't think we're going to head back up to 52K from here. So what do I think is going to happen then? Well, let me show you one pattern that I think could play out here, that I at least think is more likely than us coming back up to the top of the range. That is this right here. Now, it does take a little bit of an eye for charts to spot this, okay? And it also takes actually trading the market to feel this, okay? Because if you've been trading the market recently, or really if you just look at the chart, you can see price is it's getting tighter and tighter, right? The move is getting smaller and smaller, right? And so a lot of times when movement shrinks like this, right? It shrinks, it's barely moving for the last week. That's exactly when it's going to expand, either in in one direction or another, okay? So when price gets super slow like that, expect a kind of, I guess you could say, a volatility breakout. And that volatility breakout could be an increased move to the upside or an increased move to the downside. But that brings me to the next pattern I see here, and understanding that price tightness, okay, is it's gathering energy to make a break in some direction. And what this reminds me a lot of is this right here. So check out this pattern. We come in for a dip into a curl up. We come in for a dip into a curl up. We come in once more right here, okay? And you can see, look how tight price is getting. Okay, the candles start to get really tiny. Price is really going nowhere, okay, but it's holding support, okay? Price is getting tight, holding support. Well, look what's happening here. Price is getting tight and it's holding support, okay? And so let's continue off with this pattern here, okay? You get that dip into a curl, dip into a curl, dip into tightening price at support, right? And then you can see what happens next. We get a little bounce, okay, into a dip back lower, a little bounce into a dip lower. Okay, I think that's what could be happening here. It reminds me very similar, it feels very similar to back here, okay, where you're thinking, yeah, price isn't going to break lower because, look, the market's moving like a sloth. It feels like the market's not even moving. It feels like it's not even worth trading at this point. I remember that. That's how I actually didn't short down on this dump. And usually I'm on top of the dumps, okay, because price was tightening. It was so slow. Like I said, slow like a sloth that you don't even want to touch this thing. You don't even want to play with it because it's so boring. And that's actually exactly when price tightens, that's exactly when it expands and makes its move. Okay, so let's redraw this pattern so you can kind of see what I'm seeing, but in a more clear way. We're just going to mimic and kind of trace the homework, right? We're going to trace the cheat sheet here, what could be a cheat sheet, okay? And so let's do this pattern again, guys. You're going to see we get the dip into a curl, dip into a curl. You get this next dip at support, next dip at support. Price tightens, we go for one little bounce, and that's when, boom, we unwind down through support, boom, we unwind down through support. That is what I see being much more likely scenario than the scenario that we're actually just going to head back up. Okay, because if we were just going to head back up to 52K, I would expect a lot more buyers coming in to show that, but we don't see that. And so this is why I see so many noobs who go post on Reddit, who go post on Twitter, and act like they know how to read charts when they don't know shit. They don't even know a volume divergence, which I could teach to a kindergartner, and he would be more of an expert on charts than these so-called experts out there on Twitter. Okay? So people don't understand how to read these divergences. These are what we teach in the charts course. Okay? And this is why people get smacked around like little dandelions. Okay? And so that's why I don't see this as the likely scenario, and this is why I actually think we're going to be gearing up for a dump, okay? Because everyone right now thinks, okay, we held support. Little do they realize the volume divergence, and so a lot of people are actually about to go long here at support, okay? Just like right here, okay? It was support, right, at 47K. So you go long here at support, it bounces, and boom, that's when they dump it off on you, okay? I think that is far more likely than a bounce up to here, okay? So that's my little analysis for you today. I would not believe the hype. I would not believe this scenario right now, okay? And so let's actually go a little further here, and let's break this down. Where could the top of this bounce be? Because, like I said, you can see price bounced up right here, okay? And then it dumps, right? So we're getting the bounce. Where will this bounce end? Well, I have a pretty simple resistance level that would make sense, which is just from the top of the dump down to here. Okay, you know, like I said, you can see we don't get a big bounce here. Okay, we just get a little bounce, right, at support into that unwind down. So to me, what makes sense is we get a little bounce here, boom, into an unwind down like that. Okay, and you know, you can see the pattern, although it's not completely identical, it's pretty damn similar. Once again, let's go through this again. You have dip into a curl, boom, 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 okay? Dip into a curl, boom, 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 okay? That's what I see being far more likely than this right here, all right? So, that's what I'm watching out for. Let's actually look exactly where this red resistance meets. Where could that be? Okay, so a bounce up to 39,600-ish. That could be it. Let's also notice we have this horizontal resistance here at 40,200. So what I'm going to go ahead and say is, I think you're looking for the top of the bounce to be somewhere here, okay? Somewhere in the zone. I think you could actually expect, all right, everyone longs support, right? It looks like we're bottoming out at support, right? Let's go back here. Looks like we're bottoming out at support. So everyone starts to get bullish right here, thinking, oh, man, I think we're going to go back up to 50K, right? And so this is what happens right here. Everyone starts buying the dip. Little do they realize this is probably retail traders, retail money buying the dip because there's not a lot of volume here. Okay, the real volume was back here. The real volume was back here. Now the volume is shrinking. There is no volume. Look at the volume back here on this dip. Look at the volume here on this dip. And look at the volume here. There's none. Okay, and so I think this is going to be a retail trap where people are actually going to buy it here. And that's exactly when they could dump it. So you can expect maybe a bounce right into here into then unwind down. Okay, and that would mimic this pattern right here. We have that same, like I said, tightening price action. We have that tightening price action. And so to me, it looks like we're either, okay, depending on how you look at it, we're either right here or we're right here. Okay? So that's what I think. So I'm actually going to be very cautious, and I think they're going to set up a dump here, okay? Because it looks so bullish, right? It looks so good. It looks like we're holding support. That's when all the noobs think that. Okay, that's when all the noobs don't realize the volume divergence. Less and less buyers are stepping in here. Okay, but we don't see a decrease in sellers. Look at the sellers, guys. The sellers aren't going away. These are strong sells. Okay, and, you know, that's what I think is going to happen. At least as of now. Now, if we can get above this box I've kind of drawn, then I would start to think, you know what, I'm probably wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, okay? So if we can get above 40,200-ish, 40,700, that's where I'll think, you know what, I'm probably wrong, okay? But until then, otherwise, I do think they're actually setting everyone up for a dump here, okay? So that's my analysis for you today. I hope that's helpful, and I hope you see what I'm seeing. So we'll see if I'm right. We'll see if I'm wrong. Expect within the next week, maybe in the next few days, this can happen, okay? And you got to realize, right, over here, I want you guys to notice how price actually pumped, okay? Price pumped hard here. I remember this. So price pumped from 41,300 all the way up to 43,300. Price pumped 5% here, okay? And so right here when it pumps 5%, that's when they set everyone up for that big dump. Okay, so imagine that. Why do they pump it up 5% only to dump it right after 20%, right? Why did they do that? Don't ask me why, okay, but it worked. Okay, anyone who bought here got wrecked. So, you know, I see a lot of similarities. At least to me it feels very similar, and, you know, I believe when you trade the market, you can feel the market better than most people. And price does feel very similar now to when it did back in these areas, okay, to me. So you cannot be surprised if they dump it soon, because it looks very bullish. It looks like we're holding support. All the novice traders, all the, you know, wannabe experts out there think that, oh, it's so easy. Look at this. We get support. Now we're going to come back up to the top. You know, like, it's not that simple always, guys. Sometimes you got to read in between the lines and see when you're getting set up. For example, a novice trader, a novice guy would think right here, oh, look at us, we're at support. Let me buy the dip, right? Support at 47K. Boom, then they get set up and they get dumped. Right here, a novice thinks, oh my God, we bought and blah, 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 right? They pumped it 5%. Doesn't look like we're going lower. Dumped on. So in both of these scenarios, you got a lot of guys who are tricked. I think this could be a week where you get tricked. I don't think I'm going to be tricked, though. And at the very least, I know where I'm wrong. I think if we get above this area that I've kind of zoned out, above 41K, then I think, yeah, I'm probably wrong. But otherwise, I think there's a really good chance we're setting up for a dump here. And it's an illusion, right? It looks pretty bullish overall until you read in between the lines, understand the divergencies that I teach in my course, and then you start to realize, hey, it may not be so simple after all. They may actually be setting us up, okay? So, something to keep in mind. That's what I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. If you want to take the Crash Trading Charts course, it's linked down below this video. And if you want to join my Telegram alerts channel where I'm going to be alerting when I short the market, click the first link down below this video to join. I'll tell you exactly when I enter, what my stop loss is, and we're going to make some money. Guys, I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.